I think it's important to send the message, though, that whatever happens in Rising Stars Week, they are not under any pressure from anybody around here, and they shouldn't be from anywhere else, to go and do what other people have done immediately. They have to follow their own path.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series here on Pluto TV, where we're having a look ahead to the Rising Stars Week, which takes place here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. The action gets underway on Monday the 18th of August until Saturday the 23rd of August. 12 stars between the ages of 16 and 21 will be jousting it out for the title, including the Series 10 champion Jensen Walker. They're all in action to see who is the best of the next generation. The asset Paul Nicholson is alongside me to preview it. Look, this is a place where we've seen a lot of young talents develop, a lot of young talents nurtured, and there's been proof in the pudding over the last couple of years or so that this is a place where players have been able to go on, make experiences, and then go and thrive on the professional circuit.
Yeah, I think what this place has given everyone, really, it's not really a thing as an age group we can attribute to. It's become an aspirational place. You can either bolster your career, you can change your career, you can revitalize, pick your adjective. But the thing is, when we announced that we were going to have a various amount of different specials weeks in 2025, the one that really stood out first for a lot of people was international pairs. But the one after that was Rising Stars, because we pride ourselves on the fact that we have given young stars maybe a lot more opportunities in this kind of setting than other promotions have in the past. And the average age group of people who succeed is dropping like a stone in the water. It's as simple as that. And it's nothing to do with the world champion right now, Luke Littler. It's got everything to do with the fact that the generation of the JDC players and the people coming through in different academies and different schemes, it's evident wherever you look.
And it's interesting you say that, because you look at the players that are going to be involved, and we'll have a look at the lineup in a couple of seconds' time. Pretty much every single one of them's gone through that system. Yeah.
I mean, you look at someone like Jared Cole, for instance. I first met Jared in 2018, at the start of that year. And I thought, how old are you? And he told me how old he was. He was just a kid. I thought, what are you doing here? We're not used to having people of your age in this room. He told me the story of the Junior Darts Corporation, who was coming through. And you start looking through that lineup from around about that time, they're all still around, because what Steve Brown, what Darren Barson and some other people did with the Junior Darts Corporation, and what other people have done with their academies, what Grand Prix Darts has been done in the UK with Scotland and England and Wales, they've done a great job too. It's giving these kids the opportunity to start somewhere safe, to give them something to do, to get them away from devices, and to nurture the talent that they have. If that wasn't done 10 years ago, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation. So that's what this is all about. It's a culmination of a lot of hard work.
It was around about 2 and a bit years ago when a 16-year-old lad by the name of Luke Littler came here. And at the time, players under 18 were pretty much not allowed to play in this competition. It was 18 or over to play here. But he changed the mould, didn't he, when he turned up, when he turned through these doors?
Yeah, I think he forced everybody's hand. We wanted to bring the best players to this place when we moved here in 2022. Mm-hmm. The fact is, we had to bring him here. And by doing that, we knew that we were opening a bit of a can of worms, because he was at the forefront of the next generation of players that we wanted to see. We looked at UK Opens, we looked at other tournaments that were starting to showcase these kids, and they were bulldozing their way through qualifiers for senior events. So something had to change. It just so happened that he was the first. He's been the most important, but by no means the only person.
Fair to say instant impact. 2, not just weekly titles, but 2 series titles as well. he's somebody that, and I know it's been said a lot in a lot of newspaper column inches and a lot of places on social media, but he's somebody that has really not just inspired the next generation, but he's kicked this sport onto the next level. And I suppose when you've got a week like the Next Gen week, there's an opportunity for somebody else to do something similar, to really make a mark for themselves.
Yeah, I think this is the logical move, to give these kids the chance, because they are kids. Anyone under the age of 21 playing a sport like this with a great deal of incredible seasoned talent, they're kids, and they should be treated as such. They should be allowed to go out there, strut their stuff, and play with very little pressure. That's how I look at it anyway. But I think it's different for the media. It's different for a lot of the people who are guiding these young stars, because there is pressure on them to go and perform. I don't say it that way. I say, do you know what? There's 12 players. You're all brilliant. You're all a credit to yourselves, your families, and everyone that you're associated with. Go out there, strut your stuff, and see what you can do. It's as simple as that. And we want to watch that. It's as simple as that.
And as you mentioned, he definitely opened up the doors for other players in and around that age to play here at the Super Series. Luke was 16 years, 2 months and 20 days when he made his debut. Ryan Branley, Daniel Stevens and Jensen Walker, they've also played under the age of 18 into their teenage years. And I suppose the name at the bottom is the other name that's become a real success story here, Jensen Walker, who actually the first time he came here made it through to a final. We got really excited about how good a young talent he was. He'd then go on and make the final at Lakeside, lose out to Archie Self in the Boys World Championship final. And then it's almost as if he took the learnings from that defeat to make him a better player when he came here, and then would go on to win Super Series 10. What
people have got to understand is that the Littler story is the exception to the rule. You're going to get a talent like that maybe once every 25 to 50 years. So there are going to be a lot of young boys and girls out there who would like to follow in his footsteps. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you think you're going to follow in the exact footsteps, think again. It's not going to happen. You might be better. You might be slightly behind, but you're not going to be exactly the same. What we learned from Jensen Walker is that he's got his own path. He didn't bulldoze his way to a series title. He had to go through some adversity first. He was able to do that, and that is probably more important to learn from than Luke Littler.
And then, obviously, as I say, he won that particular title, and we saw with Luke that this was a springboard for him. We've seen it with other players, the likes of Cam Crabtree, Owen Bates, other young players that playing in this tournament, being successful in this tournament, has then led to bigger and better things.
This is the natural springboard, isn't it? I think if you're looking at some of the players who are going to take part in this week, they may not have had any experience playing here, or even very little experience of playing here. But imagine if you're the person having that trophy in your hands at the end of the week. How's that going to make you feel going to the next tournament after that? It's going to make you feel even better, isn't it? Confidence breeds confidence. It's just a thing. But moving forward, these young stars have got the opportunity to do other things by winning on this stage, maybe even getting a MODUS Super Series invite in the next series, or even having the financial benefit of maybe going to a qualifying school if that is their journey. I think it's important to send the message, though, that whatever happens in Rising Stars Week, they are not under any pressure from anybody around here, and they shouldn't be from anywhere else, to go and do what other people have done immediately. They have to follow their own path. If they don't want to go to Q school, don't go. If they want to do their youth stuff up to the age of 24 and a bit, do that, because the vehicle is there for you to go as fast or as slow as you want.
Time for a break, and when we return, we will be looking a little bit more in depth at the Rising Stars Week.
I won't say this has to go for Jaden. Big pressure for the little man, but what a shot to stay alive this would be.
Jaden Walker take everything and Jaden Walker!
Gonna get better than that too. A double 14.
And the match, MODUS Super Series champion,
The leading light.
Blue.
Super Series. It's sweet success for the 16-year-old.
How does he hit that? That's how he hits it! And Jensen Walker is a Super Series success story!
Shot and the MODUS Super Series Week 9 champion!
Double 12. Ryan Branley, that is superb.
Turn to the scoreline. He's going to go for the big fish. He's going to get the big fish.
Needs to go, and that's exactly what it does. Henry Coates finds the middle.
So, 18th of August is the start date. The Saturday is on the 23rd of August, and tickets are available by heading over to www.dartshop.tv, or the easiest way to book your tickets is by scanning that QR code that you can see on your screen there. So, welcome back to the second part of our preview of the Rising Stars Week, which does take place in the middle of August. And the asset, Paul Nicholson, is alongside me once again. Look, we've spoken about some of the stars that have been here, but we've got some stars coming up in that week altogether. Now, I want to start with a young man by the name of Charlie Manby, who played in this series not too long ago when we recorded it. And the 2 times he's played here, he's made an instant impact on this competition. But not maybe in the swashbuckling way that we've seen other players do it, but doing it with a reliability, doing it with a consistency, maybe doing it also with a maturity which is almost befitting of his tender years.
The exciting thing about Charlie is that he plays the game in a way that is very, very watchable. He doesn't hang around. He's always got a smile on his face. He's got a bit of gumption as well. And there's a few gears that we haven't seen yet. I'm convinced of this. But in his recent week here, the person who stopped him was Adam Gavlas, who was a young star himself. So maybe he can actually be inspired by the person who stopped him to go on and do something himself. I think Charlie will be one of the favourites for the week because he is vastly matured for a 19-year-old, and he's got a lot of capabilities, and it's just another cab off the rank in Yorkshire.
And just the average of 130 on the Dev Tour this year.
I mean, we have to talk about it, don't we? Because how many people can say they've done that? Not many. Some of the 130 averages that have been talked about are anecdotal. But the thing with Charlie's is there's concrete evidence of it. So we know that the ceiling is there, and it is over a short course. So everybody's got to watch out when he plays. There are so many things going right with his game. The scary thing is it can be improved on.
This is how the full lineup looks then for the week. You've got Henry Coates, somebody who's really impressed here. And Ryan Branley had a fantastic debut, didn't he? He made it through to the Saturday. There was a lot of eyes, a lot of attention on Nathan Kerr, another really top young talent. Group B, Daniel Stevenson, again, another one of those 16-year-old sensations that we've seen here in the past. Nathan Potter, a name that's been around for a number of years. He's going to be in Group C. Just overall, your synopsis of that group and some of the players involved.
Obviously, I'm going to say Ryan Branley. He's from my neck of the woods up in the northeast. He's a superb young talent, very much inspired by how Callan Ridds and Chris Dobie have done over the last few years. It was actually my father that told me about Ryan Branley first, weirdly, from a local league in Northumberland. And I started asking around, and everybody said the same thing. Oh, this lad can play. And when he came here, he proved it immediately. So Ryan's going to be up there with Charlie Manby as one of the favourites for the week. But I like the fact that there are a smattering of players who have played here previously in MODUS Super Series action, but there are some kids who haven't. So you've got to say that the favourites for the week will be the ones who've had experience here, but don't necessarily take out the likes of Nathan Kerr and Howarth and all those kids, because when they get under the lights, under this fabulous throw, they're going to think, hang on a minute, this throw is just a little bit better than most that I've ever played on, and they might just thrive. You and I have been here for some of the less young players who've said, well, I'm a 75 average player, but when they get up there, they can go as high as 107. So this place does funny things to people.
It's part of the dynamic then with that week. You mentioned some players play it, some players don't. could part of the, particularly at the beginning of the week, be about those that have played here in the past, maybe just having a little bit of an upper hand?
I think you can look at it one of two ways. I think the people who played here before will be seen as favoured because they have the experience. But they also have to shoulder the pressure of the fact that they've played here before, so they're expected to play well. I think everybody should come here with a nice clean slate. Someone like Branley, someone like Manby, they're going to be under pressure because they have succeeded and have won games here before. But in a weird sort of way, they will be under a little bit of different pressure because now it's their age group. It's the age group where they have succeeded as well, and they'll be under pressure to succeed against the people that they know they can play against. There are so many different ways of looking at it.
And for a lot of players involved in this field on debut here, this might well be the biggest thing they've ever done just yet.
Yeah, I think the two strongest words that we're going to use for that week, they're going to be so far. So someone might go out there and average 100, that's their best average, so far. It's all about starting the journey here. We don't know where Rising Stars Week is going to be in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. The thing is, you've got to start these things to see how great they can be. When we started international pairs, by the end of the week, we knew how great it was. We can't wait for it to come back. As for Rising Stars, we might see these 12 players this time, but another 12 the next time. And that would be the right thing to do, in my opinion, to give everybody a fair crack at it.
I suppose to bring the conversation back full circle, we mentioned at the beginning of the programme about the JDC, and it's an assembly line, isn't it, of talent. And we see it year in, year out when you look at the JDC finals, you look at some of the other youth events and other circuits like the WDF. Every single year, there's new names coming through. Maybe in the past, it was a case of the same players when they were 12, 13, 14, 15, constantly getting back.
Yes, tip of the iceberg right now. If you'd have had this Rising Stars Week 6, 7 years ago, you would have had a nice group of players, but that would have been the cream of the crop. Whereas this group of 12 players, they are perceived as 12 of the best players, which are pretty close to this place. It is the tip of the iceberg now because you're not including young kids who can play in other parts of the world, North America, particularly the Netherlands and Belgium. We've got a lot of young kids coming through. The Far East, you've got a lot of kids coming through in Japan, China, and other places, but we're probably not going to see them for a while. If we could cast the net a little bit wider, you wouldn't believe how many kids are out there. These are just the tip of the iceberg, trust me.
Is that perhaps logically the next step? Look, you've got to get the first year underway with, but maybe as time goes on, making it more of an international tournament, because we've seen, and it's even places like Mongolia where you've got some really good young talents.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Because if you look at development tour numbers and the names on Dark Connect with all of these events worldwide, they're everywhere. They are everywhere. And one of the social media replies I saw about this was that maybe we've concentrated quite close to home in the first one, but that was very much on purpose. You've got to start somewhere. Look at this place. Started with players very close to home because we had to. This is the logical thing to do at the start. But after this, you cast the net wider and then you see where it goes.
So, looking ahead to the tournament, looking ahead to the competition, who are you looking at as some of the runners and riders to go on and have a good week?
Manby has been to a final in MODUS Super Series action very recently. I fancy Charlie to go out there and be very destructive. I think Branley's going to push him, which is good for Charlie. As for others, well, they're going to have to up their game to succeed. But I'm not going to put any pressure on these lads. What I want them to do is go out there, be themselves, and do some damage. And let's face it, we just want these 12 lads to knock 7 bells out of each other wherever they are for the 4 or 5 days, maybe even 6 days, and then see what comes out of it. Because I expect a lot of people looking into the lens, people trying to make a name for themselves because they are part of the Instagram generation. But it will be fabulous to watch to see where things transpire.
Should be good fun finding out. That's going to take place from the 18th of August to the 23rd of August, and all of the action is going to be live and free here on Pluto TV.